All right, guys, we're back with season 2 of the Principal's Chair. Now, I'm gonna take this season and I'm gonna call it preparedness, right? And the whole thing about behind the preparedness name is that we're coming into the spring season, which is the season for renewal, rejuvenation. So we're gonna take the time to rejuvenate you guys. All right, so if you know me, you know I'm one of those people who are all about getting better at everything that you do. So what we're going to do is we're going to but we're actually going to give you some tips on how you can get better in this new season coming up. Because I know that we have high schoolers going to college, we have middle schoolers going to high school, and we have elementary students coming up to middle school. So I'm going to give some tips that you as parents, teachers, and as students can use to actually make yourself better with this new upcoming season. All right, so the first skill or the first thing that I need for you guys to do in order to get better in this new season is to stay organized. And a couple ways that you can do that is to use planners. So I actually use a planner myself, and I just started using it this year. You can actually use digital calendars, and I use those on my iPad, my iPhone, and I actually have a schedule taped to my desk to help you keep up with all of the events that's coming up in your life. So being organized is one of the biggest things that you guys can do in order to get better in this new season. That way you know what's happening and when it's coming. All right, and the second thing you guys can do to get better in this new season is to develop good study habits. Man, I can't express how important that is. So in order to develop good study habits, you also want to have a way for you to take effective notes, take good notes. And the way that I take my notes is using the Cornell note format. And if you don't know what the Cornell note format is, you can message me on Instagram or comment on the video to let me know if you don't know, so I can actually teach you how to take Cornell notes and actually how to use them. So when you take notes, I actually use my Apple Pen and my iPad with the app Freeform. Freeform allows me to take notes in a creative way how I want to. That way I don't have to follow a specific outline. So taking good notes, guys, and developing good study habits, taking a moment every night to read. What I do is I take 5 to 10 minutes every night before I go to sleep to read something, not just anything, but something that's going to benefit me right before I go to sleep. So that's the last thing on my brain before I go to sleep at night. All right, here we go. The third thing that you can do to get better in this season, guys, is to get involved. So I did a speaking at a at an HBCU event at a church a few weeks ago, and I talked to them about making themselves uncomfortable. So what I love to do is, people tell me all the time, is you always getting into too much stuff, and I encourage other people to do the same thing. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations. That way you meet people, you learn what you like, what you don't like. And just being uncomfortable, man, basically is where growth happens, right? You never grow when you're comfortable. We become complacent when we get comfortable. So learn to put yourself in different situations that you're unfamiliar with, like with sports, clubs, extracurricular activities that you don't normally do, like golf. I don't golf, but I like to golf. I suck at it, but those are the things that we do to continue growing, putting ourselves in those uncomfortable situations. All right, number 4 is to build positive relationships. So I know we live in a time now where people say stuff like, no new friends, I don't need new friends, I don't want nobody around me who ain't been here. But guys, I encourage you to build relationships, because a lot of times we end up in situations where we find ourselves in a loop because we're not getting out, meeting new people, and finding those people who can actually benefit our lives. So I encourage you as a student to build relationships with other students. Also build relationships with your counselors, with your principals. Do those things because those people, they have the wisdom in order to help you grow. And even as a parent, if you know that you're not the parent who normally reaches out to your child's teacher, reach out, build a relationship. That way there's a connection between the school and your home, and we can actually help our children grow together. All right, here we go. Number 5. Number 5 is to set goals. Now, that sounds like a very simple thing, but a lot of people don't really know how to set goals. They just say, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that. That is not setting a goal. Setting a goal is understanding what you want and understanding where you're strong and understanding where you're weak. Finding a way to get better at where you're weak and staying consistent in those areas that you're strong in order to help you get to that thing that you want. Now, your goal may be to get better grades as a student, or your goal may be to be more involved in your child's academic as a parent. So where are you strong at? Are you strong at talking to people? Are you not? So wherever you're strong at, stay consistent. Wherever you're weak, do whatever you have to do to get better in that thing in order for your life to continue to get better in this new season. All right, here we go with number 6. Number 6 is to seek help when needed. A lot of us guys, and I had a bad habit of this too, wanting to be able to do everything on my own, not wanting to ask for help because we don't want to seem weak. But I encourage you to ask for help when you need it. Like I said before, there are people who entail wisdom that you do not have, that know a little bit more than you do. Reach out to those people, ask them for their hand and help. And in the same process, that's where we can build relationships and start to network with people who have those connections that we don't have. So again, I encourage you guys to seek help when you need it. All right, guys, and last but not least, the last step you can take to become better in your life in this new season is to be available. I know on a lot of our social media platforms, we hear people say, oh, don't be so available to people. Don't give people your time. Don't give people your energy. But if we want to continue to grow ourselves, guys, we need to become more available for other people. They say whatever you want, you have to give it first. So make sure that you find that time in your schedule when you're available to give your time to other people to help somebody else, because there will be a time where you need help or when you need someone else, and you don't want to be one of those people who nobody wants to help because you never help anyone else. So give people your time and become available. All right, guys, these are the steps that you can take in order to become better in your life in this new season. So I don't say all of this stuff to try to force it onto you or just to tell you to do it. I'm actually talking to myself as well. These are things that I've been doing since I started my teaching career back in 2016. I am now an assistant principal, and because I was able to become more organized and be more available and build a lot of relationships, I was able to take that next step in my career. So now, I'm doing things a little bit better each year. I'm still getting better, still learning, still growing, and I encourage you all to do the same thing.